When winning becomes everything, even teammates clash. And sometimes, the cameras catch it all. The New York Giants season opener against Washington didn't just expose their offensive struggles. It revealed the raw tension brewing between their rising star receiver and head coach when expectations collide with reality. Malik Nabers has finally broken his silence about that explosive sideline confrontation with Brian Daboll that had the entire football world talking. The incident unfolded during their devastating 21-6 defeat to the Washington Commanders this past Sunday. And what television audiences witnessed was far from your typical player-coach discussion. Fox Sports cameras captured an intense exchange between the rookie sensation and his head coach during the break between the first and second quarters. But here's where it gets controversial. The heated conversation concluded with one of the most awkward moments you'll see all season. Daboll attempted to offer Nabers a celebratory high five, only to have the young receiver either completely miss the gesture or deliberately ignore it entirely. Following the disappointing loss, both individuals felt compelled to address what millions of viewers had just witnessed. Daboll chose the diplomatic route, keeping his explanation remarkably concise. He characterized the moment as simply an interaction between a pair of highly competitive individuals who recognize their offensive performance falls drastically short of their collective aspirations and capabilities. Nabers, however, provided a much more revealing glimpse into his mindset and motivation during that pivotal moment. The talented pass catcher didn't hold back when explaining his perspective on what transpired. "I've made it clear that I'm going to voice my opinions when the situation calls for it," Nabers explained with refreshing honesty. "I was doing everything in my power to ignite some passion in our guys and jumpstart our entire operation. The truth is, I could sense we were falling flat out there on the field. Our collective energy level was completely wrong, totally off base. That's exactly why I made the personal decision to step up and attempt to elevate everyone around me. And this is the part most people miss. Nabers sees this confrontation as evidence of their shared competitive DNA rather than a sign of dysfunction. When you break it down, it's really just two incredibly competitive individuals going head-to-head in pursuit of excellence," he continued. "Coach Daboll has a burning desire to win every single game, and I share that exact same hunger and determination. I genuinely believe that's precisely the reason he brought me to this organization, because of how remarkably similar our competitive spirits and approaches really are." So what everyone witnessed was simply two people with identical goals pushing each other toward achieving the same ultimate outcome. Statistically speaking, Nabers delivered a respectable performance in the crushing defeat, hauling in 5 receptions for a solid 71 yards. However, the broader offensive picture painted a much more troubling story for the Giants organization. The team's complete inability to find the end zone even once represents a particularly alarming start for a franchise desperately attempting to rebound from their catastrophic 3-14 record during the 2024 campaign. For context, this level of offensive futility is exactly what championship-hungry organizations cannot afford, especially when trying to rebuild credibility with their fan base. Obviously, nobody on this roster wants to experience the pain of losing games, Nabers reflected with mature insight. You inevitably find yourself replaying and analyzing your losses in your mind, but I've learned not to let those defeats consume me for extended periods anymore. I've developed the mental ability to flush those negative feelings and move forward productively. That's simply the reality of our situation moving forward to next week's challenge. I absolutely refuse to carry the emotional weight of this particular loss with me any longer than necessary. The only healthy option is to focus entirely on improvement and progression. The Giants will face their next major test when they travel to Dallas for a crucial matchup against the Cowboys next Sunday. But here's what has everyone talking. Is this sideline confrontation actually a positive sign of competitive fire? Or does it reveal deeper communication issues that could derail their season before it truly begins? Some analysts argue that this type of passionate exchange demonstrates the kind of intensity championship teams need. Others worry that public disagreements between key players and coaches signal organizational dysfunction that opposing teams will exploit. What do you think? Was Nabers justified in challenging his coach's approach? Or should rookie players respect the hierarchy regardless of their frustration levels? Does this incident make you more or less confident in the Giants' ability to turn their franchise around this season?